What's up everyone, we're going to be going to the best NBA player props on PrizePicks today. Now don't forget to like this video as it does let me know to continue to give you free picks every day. So make sure to like this video clicking that button down below. And if we get 500 likes, I will do another video for tomorrow. Now I did want to show you the results from yesterday's picks from my exclusive Discord group. And as you guys see, we actually got 22 picks correct, which was absolutely insane. Now a lot of you comment wanting to see how many I got wrong, and I thought I'd show you in today's video. We only got one pick wrong and got 22 right, which is a 98% win rate. Yes, guys, you heard that right. 98% win rate. So we're on a huge hot streak. But if you want to get a 98% win rate and get 22 picks right like me, win more bets and receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord to meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon, which should be linked down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure to join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $600 just yesterday. Another member who won $500 for the 6th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, the link will be in the description. So go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group. And I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. So quick shout to Justin's-Berry 7555 who said, let's kick off the weekend with some wins. So shouts out to him. And if you do want to win a shout out in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below in this video and like it, and you can be in the running to win a shout out in the next one. Alright, so let's get straight into the first pick. And when it comes to these picks, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. So the first pick we're going to be talking about is Musa Diabate. Now, as you all know, Musa is a great player for, Charlotte Hornets, and he's done a fantastic job. However, we like Musa Diabate for 7.5 rebounds, and this one actually is for less. Now, looking at Musa, we actually have seen him go on the under in 2 out of the last 5. Now looking at those 5 games, we see on November 29th faced off against Chicago, had 8 rebounds there. November 30th faced off against Toronto, had 9 rebounds. Then December 2nd faced off against Brooklyn Nets, had 6 rebounds there. December 4th faced off against the New York Knicks and had 8 rebounds in that matchup. Then December 6th faced off against Toronto Raptors and had 4 rebounds there. So it has definitely been an interesting time for Musa Diabate. We have seen him go on the under, as I mentioned, in 2 out of the last 5, but also his average over the last 5 is also 7. Now looking at this matchup, we do know that Charlotte Hornets have themselves a very good matchup against none other than the Denver Nuggets. So it is definitely going to be an exciting game there for sure. And looking at where both these teams do lie, starting off with actually Charlotte Hornets. Charlotte Hornets do find themselves in a pretty interesting position because Charlotte Hornets do come in at the 12th spot when it comes to the Eastern Conference. So they definitely have struggled just a little bit, haven't really looked too well as they are ranked 12th and have a record of 7 wins and 16 losses. Now on top of that, they also have a 30.4% win percentage there. They're 5-6 from home, 2-10 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. So definitely interesting to see there. But looking at their matchup, they face off, as I've mentioned, against the Denver Nuggets. And looking at the Denver Nuggets, this is definitely going to be, a very good matchup because they face off against a Denver Nuggets team that do rank 4th in the Western Conference. So not only do they rank very well, but what we also do see with them is that, they have a record of 16 wins and 6 losses, a 72.7% win percentage. So they've done very well there. They also have a record of 6-4 at home and then 10-2 from away and are currently on a 2-game win streak. So they've definitely done a fantastic job there. Now looking at this matchup, it is definitely going to be an exciting one. But what we also do know when it comes to Musa Diabate, we do know looking at Denver Nuggets and the matchup they faced off against, Denver Nuggets do rank actually 3rd when it comes to rebounds allowed. Now, when we look at offensive and defensive rebounds allowed as well, when we look at offensive rebounds, Denver Nuggets also do rank 12th. And then defensive rebounds allowed, we see that Denver Nuggets also rank very well at 3rd as well. So Whether it's rebounding in general, offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, Denver Nuggets are just a great rebounding team. And that's definitely due to the backing of players like Aaron Gordon and also Nikola Jokic and the other big men that they do have in this team like Valanciunas. So they've all done a great job. Now, yes, there may be some injuries here and there, maybe with the Denver Nuggets. However, overall, we still do see, even with the injuries that Denver have somewhat faced, in a sense that there have been some games where Aaron Gordon has missed, Jokic has missed, and all that, we definitely still see Denver remaining very, very good when it comes to, defending rebounds in general. And coming into this next matchup against Musa Diabate, we definitely see him going on the under here. Now, for someone like Musa, we do very, very much like the under for this one. And looking at someone like him and his caliber, although he's a great player, when we look at the Denver Nuggets as well, we also do see that they do a fantastic job at restricting rebounds to the forward position. So for that reason, I definitely would keep an eye out for the under for this one for someone like Musa coming into this game. Now, looking at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have favored for the under as well. But looking at both these teams, Charlotte and Denver, we are expecting a little bit more of a slower pace game from Charlotte, because Denver do like to play slow type basketball and they like to slow down the pace quite a lot. So coming into this matchup, we are expecting, Charlotte to actually slow down to Denver's pace and cause the under for this one for someone like Musa. So Musa Diabate, 7.5 rebounds for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're going to be talking about none other than Justin Edwards. So, Justin Edwards, great player, and this is for 5.5 points, and this one actually is for less. So Justin Edwards, great player, as we all mentioned, but he has actually gone on the under in 3 out of the last 5 games. Now, looking at those 5 games, you see on November 29th, faced off against the Brooklyn Nets, had 4 points there. December 1st, faced off against Atlanta, had 0 points. December 3rd, faced off against Washington Wizards, had 9 points in that matchup. Then December 5th, faced off against the Golden State Warriors and had 8 points there. Then December 6th, faced off against Milwaukee Bucks and had 0 points in that matchup. So we definitely have seen Justin Edwards and also the playing for the Philadelphia 76ers. He definitely has gone on the under quite consistently. Now, coming into this matchup, it is definitely going to be an exciting one, because we do know Philadelphia 76ers do find themselves in a matchup against the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, before we get into the rankings between both these teams, I do also have to mention that Justin Edwards over the last 5 games has actually only averaged 4.2, so significantly below this line as well, which is definitely another big sign for us there. But looking at this situation, we do also know that when it comes to Philadelphia, they face off against the Los Angeles Lakers. And looking at where both these teams do lie, starting off with actually, Philadelphia 76ers, Philly do come in at the 7th spot in the Eastern Conference. They have a record of 13 wins and 9 losses. That's a 59.1% win percentage there. And on top of that, they are 7-6 from home, 6-3 from away, and are currently on a 3-game win streak. So very, very interesting to see in that matchup. Now, Philadelphia 76ers are in a pretty interesting situation. They did get off to the start of the season very, very hot. Had a great start. They have fallen just a little bit down below, but they are starting to claw their way back up for sure. Now, when we actually look at this, we do know we actually see they face off against a Los Angeles Lakers team that do a great job, because this Los Angeles Lakers team do actually come in at the 3rd position as well, and they also have a 16 win and 6 loss record. So they're a very, very good team. Luka Doncic has definitely taken this team and have pushed them to the limit. Now, they also have a 72.7% win percentage there. They're 7-3 from home, 9-3 from away, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak. So it's definitely been very interesting for them. Now, looking at the Los Angeles Lakers, they do, have been playing very, very well. But looking at them defensively as well, we do see that the Los Angeles Lakers do rank 16th when it comes to points allowed. Now, coming into this situation, obviously Justin Edwards has done a great job, for his team at times, but we do very much like the under for this, because when we actually look at the Los Angeles Lakers, we do see they do a fantastic job at actually restricting restricting points to Justin Edwards' position. So we definitely see that having a huge effect there. Now, when we actually look at this matchup more in depth, we do also know when it comes to Lakers and Philly, we do know that Justin Edwards just in general has definitely had a very, very low usage rate in the points department. Yes, he has had some games where he does score, some points. Other games he pretty much scores 0, and that's because when it actually what actually causes this is due to the fact that Justin Edwards just isn't really that high of a usage rate player when it comes to points for this team. There are other bigger players in this Philly team that do a lot more of the scoring, and Justin Edwards definitely takes a little bit, not even I would say, a second stringer type role. I'm talking 4th, 5th, as he does, only average over the last 5 or 4.2 points. So no disrespect to Justin Edwards' game, but he just isn't really that effective at scoring when it comes to his usage rate being high or anything of that nature. And we definitely see those things being a very big issue there. Now, for that reason, we do very, very much like the under for this one. So I would definitely keep an eye out for it. And when we look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have him favored for the under as well. So Justin Edwards, 5.5 rebounds for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Going to the next player, we're going to be talking about none other than Coby White. So Coby White, great player as we all know. And this one is a fantastic one and a combo at that for rebounds and assists for 7.5. And this one actually is for less. Now looking at Coby White, we actually have seen him go on the under in 1 out of the last 5 games. Now looking at those 5 games, see on November 20th, faced off against Portland, had 8 rebounds and assists there. November 23rd, faced off against Washington, had 9 rebounds and assists. November 25th, faced off against New Orleans Pelicans and had 11 rebounds and assists there. Then November 29th, faced off against Charlotte, had 6 rebounds and assists there. Then 9 rebounds and assists against Indiana Pacers on December 6th. So it definitely has been an interesting time for Coby White. Now, coming into this matchup, it is definitely going to be an interesting one because we do know that Coby White and the Chicago Bulls have themselves a very, very good matchup against the Golden State Warriors. Now, it is definitely going to be an exciting game there between both of these teams. Now, looking at where both these teams do actually lie, starting off with actually, Chicago Bulls. We have seen Chicago Bulls start off the season strong. Unfortunately, however, they have fallen down the line just a little bit. Now they find themselves in the 11th spot in the Eastern Conference, and they have a record of 9 wins and 13 losses. That's a 40.9% win percentage there. They're 6-4 from home, 3-9 from away, and are currently on a 6-game losing streak. So it definitely has been, unfortunately, pretty tough for the Bulls as of lately. They haven't really been able to get, going when it comes to their offense and their defense, and they just have definitely been struggling as a team, unfortunately. But they find themselves in a position where they face off against the Golden State Warriors. And when we look at the Golden State Warriors are actually in somewhat of an interesting position as they do, are currently ranked 8th in the Western Conference. And on top of that, they have a record of 11 wins and 12 losses. Now, when we look at it further, we also do know that they have a 47.8% win percentage there, 7-3 at home, 4-9 from away, and are currently on we're currently on a 2-game losing streak, but have snapped that just recently. But coming into this next one, we do also know when it comes to Coby White and the Chicago Bulls, they face off against a Golden State Warriors team that when we look at them defensively, we do actually see that Golden State Warriors rank 12th in assists allowed, and when it comes to rebounds allowed, Golden State Warriors also do rank 23rd. So it is pretty interesting to see. Obviously, looking at that, they rank a little bit lower in rebounds, but do rank very well in assists. Now, we do like the under for this situation, however, because when we look at Golden State Warriors on a more in-depth basis, we do actually see they do a fantastic job at restricting rebounds and assists to the guard position. So for that reason, we do very, very much like the under for this one. Now, for someone like Coby White, we definitely see him going on the under here, due to the fact that when we look at this matchup, we also do know that, Coby White has faced off against much easier teams. He's been able to go over on this line quite consistently, but I do believe it was against much easier teams. It's now brought this line a little bit too high that now there's a lot more value actually to go on the under. So we definitely see this, kind of turning the tides around, and for that reason, we do very much like the actual, under for this situation here. Golden State Warriors are continuing to look to try to push push and really try to change this season around. So, they are hoping they can do that, but it definitely starts with their defense. And because of that, Golden State Warriors are expected to really put some pressure on someone like Kobe White, as he is one of the main players for this Chicago team. If you didn't know already, Warriors do like to really focus in on stars and kind of the main players in their roster and restrict them as much as they can and try to leave it up to those role players to do a lot more of the heavy lifting. And that's kind of the game plan that Golden State Warriors like to run defensively, and we definitely see that unfortunately affecting Kobe White here. Now, Kobe also doesn't have the highest usage rate, I would say, in both of these departments. Obviously his average over the last 5 is 8.6, so it is somewhat decent, but I wouldn't say it's the highest for Kobe White when it comes to this part of the season. And for that reason, we are definitely sticking to the under for this one. So Kobe White, 7.5 rebounds and assists for less, I think is a fantastic pick. So as you all know, I do want to get these picks out to you as soon as possible, but PrizePicks is delayed with some of their lines. So here are a couple of players you should definitely watch out for when their lines drop. So the first player we're going to be talking about is Jonathan Kaminga. So as you all know, Jonathan Kaminga, great player for none other than actually the Golden State Warriors. And he's done a fantastic job so far this season, actually averaging 12.9 points, 6.3 rebounds, 2.6 assists, and has also had a 45.8% field goal percentage. So he's definitely done a fantastic job there. Now, when we look at Jonathan Kaminga and the Golden State Warriors, they do have themselves a very good matchup against the Chicago Bulls. Now, it is definitely going to be an exciting game there. Now, obviously, they are coming off a back-to-back game where they, obviously have played on back-to-back days. But looking at this matchup, Warriors versus Bulls, it is definitely going to be an exciting one. And looking at where both of them do rank, starting off with Golden State Warriors. Warriors, unfortunately, haven't really lived up to the hype of this team because they currently rank 8th in the Western Conference. So they've definitely struggled just a little bit. They do have a record of 11 wins and 12 losses, so a 47.8% win percentage there. They're also 7-3 from home, 4-9 from away, and are currently on a 2-game losing streak. So very interesting to see in that matchup. Now, coming into this matchup, we do also know that the Golden State Warriors do actually face off against a Chicago Bulls team who do rank a little bit lower, as they actually rank 11th, however, in the Eastern Conference. Now, Chicago Bulls got off to a great start to the season. They did fantastic, but we've actually seen that change a little bit. Now, they currently rank 11th in the Eastern Conference. They have a record of 9 wins, 13 losses, a 40.9% win percentage there. And on top of that, they are also 6-4 from home, 3-9 from away, and are currently on a 6-game losing streak. So it definitely has been tough for the Bulls and also has been pretty tough for the Golden State Warriors, but it is still definitely going to be an exciting game. But looking at where both of these teams do lie, starting off with actually Chicago Bulls. Chicago Bulls come in at the 26th spot when it comes to points allowed. When we look at assists allowed, we see that the Bulls also do rank pretty low as they rank 23rd, and then rebounds allowed, the Bulls rank 25th. So Chicago Bulls unfortunately rank very low in all 3 categories: points, rebounds, and assists. And coming into this next matchup, we do very much like the over for someone like Jonathan Kaminga. We definitely see Kaminga, although he definitely has had some pretty poor performing games here and there, we still do very much like the over for it, as he does face off against a pretty poor Chicago Bulls team. And on top of that, Chicago Bulls also do a really poor job at restricting points, rebounds, and assists to Kaminga's position. So we definitely see that playing a huge part there. Now, coming into this matchup, we do also know when it comes to Jonathan Kaminga, we do know that when we actually look at the matchup against Bulls do like to push the pace quite a lot. And we are expecting, since Warriors are a fast-paced team, we are expecting a very fast-paced game. And as I always mention, fast-paced games leads to more volume and more opportunity to score, rebound, and play make. Now, for someone like Jonathan Kaminga, over the last 5 games, we definitely have seen some pretty interesting stat lines. We saw in the 12th faced off against Oklahoma City Thunder, had a 126-102 loss with 13 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds there. After that, on the 13th, faced off against San Antonio Spurs, had a 125-120 win with 0 points, 0 assists, 4 rebounds. Then on the 30th, faced off against New Orleans Pelicans, had a 104-96 win with 10 points, 2 assists, 1 rebound. Then 8 points, 1 assist, 7 rebounds there with a 124-112 loss against OKC on the 3rd. And then on the 5th, faced off against Philadelphia 76ers. Lost by 99-98, so just lost by 1 point, and had 9 points, 2 assists, 6 rebounds there. So very, very interesting to see. Now, obviously, coming into this matchup, yes, he definitely has struggled at times, but with a matchup like Chicago Bulls, who are a much, much easier team, unfortunately, no disrespect to Bulls, but we definitely see Kaminga taking advantage of that and going on the over there. So for that reason, definitely keep an eye out for the over for someone like Kaminga. I don't think you need to focus on any sort of particular category. He has the capability to go on the over in all 3 for sure. So definitely keep an eye out for the line. If it is under his averages, definitely look to go on the over. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Jaylen Williams. So Jaylen Williams, great player for none other than Oklahoma City Thunder, and he's done a fantastic job so far this season because he actually averaged 16 points, 5.8 rebounds, 6 assists, and has also had a 42.1% field goal percentage. So he's definitely done a fantastic job there. Now, when we look at someone like Jaylen Williams and Oklahoma City Thunder, we do also know, looking at both of these teams, that Oklahoma City do face off against the Utah Jazz. Now, it is definitely going to be an exciting game there. But looking at where both of these teams do actually lie, starting off with actually Oklahoma City Thunder, we do know, and I think a lot of you do know, how great they have actually done. They've been on an absolute tear as of lately, really, really showcasing what they are capable of. But they currently find themselves in the -1 spot in the Western Conference. Now, they have a record of 22 wins, 1 loss, a 95.7% win percentage there. They're also 11-0 from home, 11-1 from away, and are currently on a 14-game win streak. Yes, you heard that right, 14-game win streak. So it's been an absolute great season for, Oklahoma City Thunder for sure. And they definitely continue to just keep getting better and better. Now, they face off against a Utah Jazz team who are in the same conference, but have definitely struggled just a little bit because they come in at the 11th spot in the Western Conference. They have a record of 8 wins, 14 losses, a 36.4% win percentage there, 6-6 from home, 2-8 from away, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak. So very interesting to see coming into that matchup, but we definitely have seen, Utah Jazz definitely struggle quite a bit. And coming into this, we do very much like this situation because looking at Utah Jazz defensively, unfortunately, Utah Jazz have definitely struggled. They rank 29th when it comes to points allowed, 29th when it also comes to assists allowed. However, Utah Jazz and rebounds allowed do rank a little bit better, but still do only rank 16th. So they don't really rank too well there. Now, coming into this matchup, we do very much like this, situation here for someone like Jaylen Williams, because you definitely see him going on the over here. Now, for someone like Jaylen Williams, we definitely have seen him not only just do a great job in the games that he has played, but he is also a very valuable asset and has a high usage rate in all 3 departments for sure. Now, looking at actually, his last couple of games, and the last 4 being exact, last month on the 29th, faced off against Phoenix, had a 123-119 win with 11 points, 8 assists, 4 rebounds there. On the 1st, faced off against Portland, had a 123-115 win with 16 points, 5 assists, 8 rebounds. On the 3rd, faced off against Golden State Warriors, had a 124-112 win with 22 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds there. And then on the 6th, faced off against Dallas, had a 132-111 win with actually 15 points, 5 assists, 8 rebounds there. So it's definitely been pretty interesting to see. Obviously, looking at Jaylen Williams, he has been injured in some games, other games hasn't. So he definitely has been playing games here and there. But coming into this one, we do very much like this situation here because we do actually like the over for someone like Jaylen Williams, especially in a matchup against, as we mentioned, the Utah Jazz. Now, when we also look at Utah Jazz, we also do know when it comes to them, that the Utah Jazz do like to push the pace and push the pace as much as they can. And for that reason, we do very much still like the over, as more pace leads to more volume, and more volume leads to more opportunity to score, play, make, and rebound. So I don't think you need to focus on anything in particular when it comes to Jaylen Williams' line. I think there's definitely a lot of value there to go on the over in all three for sure. So getting into the next player, I'm going to be talking about Desmond Bane. So as you all know, Desmond Bane plays for none other than actually Orlando Magic. Now he has done a great job with them, and he actually is currently averaging 18.3 points, 4.3 rebounds, 4.5 assists, and has also had a 43.7% field goal percentage. Now, when it comes to, his points, rebounds, and assists, he ranks 43rd in points, 111th in rebounds, 41st in assists, and 121st when it came to field goal percentage. So Desmond Bane has definitely had himself a great season for the Orlando Magic so far, and the Orlando Magic and Desmond Bane find themselves in a very good matchup against the New York Knicks. Now, this is going to be an exciting matchup because these are some top teams going at it in the East. Starting off with Orlando Magic. Magic come in at the 4th spot in the Eastern Conference. They have a record of 14 wins and 9 losses, a 60.9% win percentage there. And on top of that, they are 9-4 from home, 5-5 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. Now, besides, Magic or beside them is the New York Knicks, because New York Knicks are not too far off. Now, looking at the other side of this, we do see that they face off against the New York Knicks, where New York Knicks come in at the 2nd spot in the Eastern Conference. So they've actually done a fantastic job. They have a record of 15 wins and 7 losses. That's a 68.2% win percentage there. They're 12-1 from home, 3-6 from away, and are currently on a 2-game win streak. So very interesting to see. Now, looking at Orlando Magic and also specifically the matchup between New York Knicks, obviously this is both great teams in the Eastern Conference, but looking at the Knicks defensively, we do know Knicks come in at the 4th spot when it comes to points allowed. Looking at assists allowed, they do rank 7th, and then rebounds allowed, we also do see that the Knicks come in the 5th position. So, we do actually see that, New York Knicks do a great job at restricting points, rebounds, and assists. And coming into this matchup, we do very much like the under for someone like Desmond Bane. Although Desmond Bane has been a great player when it comes to, scoring, rebounding, and playmaking, with a matchup against the Knicks, it is definitely going to be very tough. Knicks have shown time and time again that they're a great defensive team, but a big part of their reason why they do not allow a lot of points, rebounds, and assists is due to the fact that when it comes to New York Knicks, they do play a very slow paced type basketball. Now, so do the Orlando Magic, and coming into this one, we are expecting Knicks to really slow down the pace even more, which can definitely have a huge effect on someone like Desmond Bane. Now, coming into this, we do very much like the under for this situation here for someone like Desmond Bane. We definitely see him going on the under due to the fact that when we look time and time again, we have seen that Desmond Bane, has definitely struggled as well against, great defensive teams. Now, looking at, his last 5 games, we saw the 26th faced off against Philadelphia, actually had a 144-103 win with 15 points, 6 assists, 2 rebounds there. On the 29th, faced off against Detroit, had a 112-109 win with 37 points, 2 assists, 8 rebounds. Then on the 2nd, faced off against Chicago, had a 125-120 win with 37 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds there. On the 4th, faced off against San Antonio Spurs, had a 114-112 loss with 14 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds there. And then on the 6th, faced off against Miami, had a 106-105 win with 5 points, 3 assists, 0 rebounds there. So we definitely have seen Desmond Bane do a great job in some games. Other games has definitely struggled. But we do know time and time again is that when we look at this matchup, the reason why that we definitely have seen, Desmond Bane struggle against top defensive teams, we should see him struggle as well against the New York Knicks as well. So for that reason, we are definitely liking the under, whether it's points, rebounds, and assists. Knicks do a great job at restricting, points, rebounds, and assists as well to the guard position. So it definitely helps our case there. So all in all, we are definitely liking the under for this one. So Desmond Bane, keep an eye out for his line. If the line is too close to his averages, then definitely look to go on the under there.